So thanks. And you talked about expansion. As more Americans become fully vaccinated, the CDC is providing new guidance about how they can keep others safe. Joining us now with the very latest is Dr. Oz. He's joining us live this morning. Always good to see you, Dr. Oz. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you. I'm very proud of the CDC this morning because for a while we were sitting there wondering why we were bothering getting vaccinated. There didn't seem to be any major benefit. The CDC, well, the last few days completely about pace, saying if you're vaccinated, you can go hang with other people who are vaccinated without wearing masks or physical distancing. You can even visit unvaccinated people from a single household if they're low risk. For example, your grandkids.
Well, Dr. Oz, let me ask you this, and I want to ask you this kind of from a personal perspective, if you don't mind. So, both of my parents, right, they are fully vaccinated. My mom and dad, they're of that age, right? They're fully vaccinated. We haven't seen them in 2 years because of the pandemic. We'd love to go visit them in California this summer. We are not vaccinated. We'd be staying in the same house if we were to go. Talk about some guidelines in that respect, because I'm sure that I'm like a lot of families, right, who have not seen their parents in over a year.
Well, the CDC is saying go visit them. And in fact, they haven't released the travel restriction yet, but I think that's going to come very soon. The travel industry reached out and said, why are you penalizing us? People who are vaccinated in the clinical trials had a death rate from COVID of 0 in the clinical trials. And so there's not a lot of risk to your grandparents or to your parents. And I think the benefit of being in social contact and loving kids and squeezing their cheeks and feeding them too much, whatever they want, those are all major benefits that are rites of passage. So let's go back, get back in the saddle. They are safe. Now, you might get COVID on the way there. There's a possibility you could get it from them, but the study from Israel over the weekend confirms 92% reduction in passing the virus along to others if you've been vaccinated. So I think across the board, we're seeing what we would have expected. This vaccine is a remarkable advance. It's one of the few bright elements of this pandemic. Let's take advantage of the wisdom and the benefits given us by getting everyone vaccinated. But you should be allowed to visit.
So let me ask you then about my parents, because one of their biggest worries is that, okay, we're fully vaccinated. You all are not fully vaccinated. What precautions should we take? Meaning my parents, they're asking me, what precautions should they take now that they are fully vaccinated, Dr. Oz?
They don't need to take additional precautions. The CDC agrees now. We suspected it was going to be the case, but because they're not going to give you the virus except for a very rare possibility, and because you probably wouldn't have a huge penalty to pay if you did contract the virus, I think generally speaking, you don't have to restrict yourselves. Go spend time with them, go love them. Now, I wouldn't go mosh pit diving. I wouldn't go out in very large groups.
How'd you know? That was what we were going to be doing.
That's right.
Okay.
I mean, there's some things I wouldn't do. I wouldn't go out in public with a large number of people when I don't know what their risk factors are, because yes, you could pass the virus back and forth.
Yeah.
But to your parents, single family, that's what the CDC is saying. Guys, there's a huge upside of getting vaccinated. Now that you know that, go do the right thing.
So let me ask you this finally before we close here, Dr. Oz. With regards to now we've got these 3 vaccines that are on the market right now. How happy and excited are you to see that we are making this progress? And when do you think that life can go back to, and we put it in quotes, right, normal?
My birthday is June 11th, which happens to be about the right time for us to go back to normal because I want to have a party this year. But the numbers across the board, and I've had plenty of the experts in this nation on our show. In fact, tomorrow we've got a big episode on why we think the pandemic is actually over. It's not over yet, but it's going to be over very soon, predictably certainly by the summer. And I think by then, most Americans, as the president has said, will have a chance to get vaccinated if they desire. The numbers are all trending in the right direction. There are reasons not to celebrate. Variants, we've sort of stalled in the reduction of cases, but so much better than it was 2 months ago. With 2 million people getting vaccinated a day, to combine with 30% of Americans have already been infected with COVID, so have a resistance, it gets us a lot closer to herd immunity if we just keep that 2 million people a day path open.
Dr. Oz, as always, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate you.
God bless. Take care.
You as well. Thanks so much. We do want to remind you that you can watch the Dr. Oz Show weekdays at 2 p.m. right here on Fox 35. Amy.